Hi Aquarius, welcome to April 2020. This is your horoscope for Sun, Moon and Rising and the Tarot as well. So Aquarius, I hope you're all feeling safe and protected and you're doing very well. Let me tell you, you're activated in April. Mars is activating you in every sense of the word. Saturn is now in your sign. If you're experiencing or have been experiencing some crown chakra activity such as headaches, migraines, fuzziness, lightheadedness, it's all to do with Saturn moving into your sign. It often does that. The Emperor. Nice. There's Mars right away in your sign. Big energy to begin with. Mars, of course, entered Aquarius on the 31st of March and will remain there for the remainder of April. The whole of April will have Mars in your sign. Ooh. Justice and the Ace of Wands. Okay, Aquarius. Right off the bat, we have two very stern-looking folks sitting on their thrones, and they kind of have this sense of serenity and confidence and calmness. And then the Ace of Wands adds this spark. There is a full moon this month in Libra. And for you, Aquarius, that is, of course, the 9th house of philosophy and travel. Travel being restricted, philosophy, not so much. Hakuna Matata. Your energy gets supercharged by both the full moon in Libra and Mars being in your sign. But you would be forgiven for reaching a point where all the energy gets more and more intense and you start to get a little bit confused of how you're going to channel it exactly, what you're going to channel it into. Around the full moon in Libra on the 7th, Mars in your sign is squaring your ruler Uranus though. So you have this excess energy, you have this excess drive, you have this desire to make things happen, particularly on a social level, of course. And the Ace of Wands is giving you the passion and the drive to do so. Now the Two of Swords comes in because that square occurs while Mercury, which moves into Aries on the 11th. Well, Mercury will be sextiling Pluto while it's still in Pisces. Mercury in Pisces sextiling Pluto at that time in your financial sector as well as your 12th house. Could be quite interesting in terms of getting to the bottom of a few issues surrounding worth and how much you think you can actually contribute and how much you think as an individual you matter, because Aquarius, you are the sign of the individual, but you're also the sign of community, but you're the sign of the individual. And with the Death card and the Two of Swords is telling me that Pluto, and this is really very fascinating for your reading, we have Mars here, we have Pluto here, and we have the full moon in Libra. You really need to shed a particular limiting belief, Aquarius, that I think comes a lot from being misunderstood. You are so interesting as a person. 5 of Pentacles, yes, this goes quite deep. You're so interesting as a person, you're so unique, you're so individual, but you're also so interested in humanity, yet when people try to get close to you, you get a little bit defensive. And when you have this drive and this passion and you're full of life, you're possibly one of the most attractive people to be around. So of course, naturally, everybody wants to get close to you and everybody wants a piece of the pie, especially an Aquarius with an innovative idea, the most sought after. We look at famous Aquarians like Oprah Winfrey and we see that Ace of Wands energy where they have a drive and a passion for something. Knight of Cups, yet they seem to maintain some kind of distance in their emotional and personal lives. Okay, so you have the drive, you have the passion to create something, and then we hit a little bit of a block. And full moons always expose something, right? So what are they exposing for you, Aquarius? Well, point blank, it is exposing an outdated philosophy. And Saturn going into your sign is going to want to make you quite serious. And it's going to really want you to think about the way, Aquarius, that you view romance in particular. Judgment. Knight of Cups and Judgment. And this is coming up as a recurring theme I'm noticing for the fixed signs, but Pisces as well had this. So I think it's for everybody, really. Knight of Cups and Judgment. There is a romance of sorts or a key relationship in your life already standing. It could be with a Scorpio, actually, very strong Scorpio energies, but it doesn't have to be. There is some sort of romantic, and I have to say, I think it is romantic. It could be a very good friend, though. Knight of Cups. Ooh, and the Fool. There is a new beginning for you in some very key relationship. And even if it is quite recent, it's long-standing. It has potential to go a very long way, is what I'm saying. There seems to be a key relationship in your life of a soul connection, be it a friendship, be it a romance, or be it one that's kind of incoming here. And for a lot of you, I think it's blowing out the cobwebs. It's kind of blowing out this this emotional blockage that you've been dealing with. It's almost karmic. And it's 10 of Cups, High Priestess, a really beautiful new beginning. And it could be a new beginning in, as I say, withstanding relationship, Aquarius. But I feel as though you've maybe been going through a period, possibly due to the quarantine, possibly due to the isolation, where you felt really kind of lonely. I'm sort of feeling this more to do with Saturn and Pluto's dance that they did in the beginning of the year. It wasn't really a dance, it was more of a, right, let's get together and see how much we can put the world through before they get the message kind of thing. But I think you felt it quite heavy. The 12th house energy has been very releasing for you, because it's getting you out of your own ways. You're still a fixed sign. And as a fixed air sign, you are, metaphorically speaking, the sky. You like to feel like you're beyond everything that's going on. You know, that you're above everything that's going on in a way. Wheel of Fortune, Page of Pentacles. Beautiful. And underneath we have that Four of Pentacles. So, a beautiful new beginning in some way. And I think for a lot of you it's emotional. Personally, I think it's emotional. New moon in Taurus on the 22nd of April. 3 days before Pluto goes retrograde in Capricorn, your 12th house, which will probably stop those intense, unusual dreams to an extent. But it is putting you in some sort of calling. Now, what's so interesting about the Judgment energy, Pluto, of course, which has come up in most of the signs so far. Of course, Pluto is playing a very big point here with Jupiter connecting with Pluto. So let's talk about that, because we have them one under the other. And the cards are being very specific. Judgment and the Wheel of Fortune. So Jupiter and Pluto conjunct on the 4th of April. That number 4 energy that is haunting 2020. It's asking you to get really real about the stability that you want. And if you look carefully in this card, we have the 4 fixed signs, your energy being one of them. Up here, the water bearer. And then we have Scorpio, represented by the eagle. We have Leo, the lion. And we have Taurus, the bull. So we have all the fixed energies, Scorpio's energy represented here. It's making a lot of sense so far, right? If you're following me. You're being asked, Aquarius, to see where you're maybe a little bit stuck in your ways in terms of your own personal philosophy. And possibly in terms of your own subconscious. What will work for very, very much the most open-minded of Aquarians right now is working on your subconscious. Working on your subconscious mind that is so much in control of so much that you're doing. And again, you're the sky. You kind of like to think you're above that sort of thing. But at the minute, Aquarius, you are a little bit on a loop in terms of your, and I think it's emotional life. It could be a recurring argument. It could be a recurring theme. It could be a recurring type of person. And I think for a lot of you, it's like a reset button. The Death card and the 5 of Pentacles makes you aware that maybe you've been a little bit too cold in terms of romance. Maybe you've been a little bit too distant. Maybe you've not been giving much away. Maybe you've been trying to keep too much of a distance between yourself and the people that you're close to. And you're maybe realizing around this time, Aquarius, particularly with the Libra full moon, the full moon in the partnership sign, Aquarius, it's maybe teaching you, and Mars is maybe teaching you that you need to put in a little bit more to your romantic relationships, and as well as that to your friendships. I think there could be somebody mid-month asking a lot of you emotionally, and I think the way that they maybe explain it to you especially if they're a water sign, but the way that they maybe explain it to you really opens you up to the prospect of some kind of new chapter with this person. You know, going on an adventure with this person or moving in with this person. And again, I'm saying it could be friendship. And if it's in your romantic life, I feel like there is something occurs mid-month that you cannot ignore. And what I want you to do with Mars in your sign is not to push so hard against your own nature, but merely become aware of it. And aware of maybe why you pull away a little bit when someone gets too close, or maybe why you pull away completely whenever you start to get a bit indecisive about somebody, particularly if you have Libra in your chart. Now, that's not to say you're doing it because they're, you know, you're just triggered with all these different things and they're the wrong person, they're the right person but the wrong time, etc., etc. There aren't any excuses here. The Knight of Cups and Judgment does not do excuses. Okay? I think for a lot of you, you could get hit right between the eyes with something new. Or something old. And again, as I say, and I don't say it lightly, but I feel though that this full moon in Libra is reconnecting a lot of partnerships. You know, whether you have split or not. You know, marriages, I feel like a lot of it's coming into focus. Venus in Gemini, and let's talk about that as well. Gemini energy is so good for you. Venus enters Gemini on the 3rd. We also have the North Node entering Gemini, and Venus in Gemini will trine Saturn in your sign around the time of the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, 12th house, soulmates. Venus in Gemini, your 5th house of romance, trining Saturn in your sign, romance. This is actually a love that could last for many Aquarians, and I feel like you're ready to walk down that road. I almost feel like when Saturn came down in your sign, you got a little bit more future-oriented. Much like your opposite sign, Leo. You started to think a little bit more in terms of 10-year plans, 5-year plans even, if 10 years is too far. You started to think really strongly about the future and who you want to walk down this road with. Do you want it to just be you and your dog, or do you want it to be you and a partner, you and a best friend? Whatever it is, Aquarius, it's leading you deeper and deeper and deeper into something that has been predestined, I think. High Priestess being that Jupiter-Pluto conjunction in the 12th house. The cards are so astrological, they're really not messing around. In terms of finances and career, I feel like there's a completely new cycle for you in general. With Mercury moving out of Pisces, it's going to be so much better for you in terms of money. Okay, it's going to be so much, it's going to make so much more sense. There's not a lot stopping you in terms of money. Especially if you're creative, especially if you're doing something with your life you're exceptionally passionate about, Aquarius, there's really not much stopping you. But these blockages, 4 of Pentacles and the Star, there's you, and there's you being a little bit closed off. Still a fixed sign. In fact, 4 of Pentacles, you are the 4th fixed sign. Did you know that? You did know it, but had you thought about it? Stability is something that you really do want to learn in terms of your partnerships. Now, if you're dealing with a Leo, I feel like they possibly are the ones making you an offer you cannot refuse. If you're thinking of going into business with a Leo, provided they don't have too stubborn a personality, I think you could actually make something that goes quite far. But you need to watch out for their shutting you down. They might not be as open-minded as you are on certain ideas. So be careful of that. But I think for a lot of you, you're willing to get in touch with your more nurturing side, and possibly because there is something or someone that is bringing you out of that closedness. Right? This is exceptional. It really is. Venus trine Saturn is asking you to consider about maybe where something romantic has a deeper lesson, has a karmic tie, has something significant. And if it is the matter, Aquarius, that this death card after the Two of Swords is that you finally step away from something that you've been unsure of. The Venus-Saturn trine is telling you that you're getting some kind of lesson from it that sets you up for that next chapter, which may come in a lot quicker than you think. The key theme about all these readings so far is that love does not seem to stop where it's meant to be coming in. You know? Just so you know, the Knight of Cups, the Judgment card, side by side, I've dealt with this energy before. It really always does represent someone or some relationship in your life that is very significant. Be it a lesson that you have to learn there, be it somebody returning that you never thought would return. There's that aspect of it that could be, it's happening a lot of people because of the quarantine aspect. Whether that can go somewhere, I don't know. I think for a lot of you there is some kind of relationship on the periphery that is very significant, that is obviously in your style, with the Fool card here and the Ten of Cups. Doesn't necessarily look the way that people expect it to look. It doesn't look as conventional maybe, yet there is a depth to it that I think you might find a little bit frightening, but I think you're willing to put a bit of a gamble on. So Aquarius, that is April. I'm going to get into the extended and go deeper into these energies, particularly the Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Cups, Ten of Cups. Very interesting energies in terms of emotions and romance. You don't have to over-intellectualise or rationalise these feelings when they occur, especially your Death, Five of Pentacles moment, when you're feeling very out in the cold with something in particular. For a lot of you, that could be financial, that could be career. And if that is something, Aquarius, that you're worried about, because obviously Scorpio energy is your 10th house, and we're lacking in Scorpio energy in the sky at the minute, and we're lacking in Pisces, which is your financial. We think more to your 6th house of habits, which would be Cancer. And the Cancerian eclipse leading from January right until July time is going to restructure your habits in terms of how you work and how you look after yourself, and it wants a complete restructuring in some way. But it's only setting you up so that you can take more steps to following things that you feel good about, that you feel really good about. And towards the very end of April, as seems to be the case for a couple of other signs, Wheel of Fortune and the Page of Pentacles promises a prosperous new start in something that could be completely different to what you anticipated. But you like that. You like that. Okay, Aquarius, I'll see you in the extended. Bye.